So mansplaining is short for man-explaining. I don't know if you knew.
So what he means by mansplaining, you guys, is
I make that joke with my friends all the time when I get, and they'll call me out. Some, especially as my lady friends will call me out on, "Are you mansplaining right now?" And then I'll say, "So mansplaining," and they're like, I usually get a slap, but the joke stands for me because mansplaining is a ridiculous.
Oh, I love that so
thing
much.
That we, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So you've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Did you step in cat vomit? What happened?
I have not only been up since 5. I've been on these fucking calls since about 5:30.
Okay,
so I had about
here's
15 minutes to make. Oh God, I made instant coffee. I've been drinking instant coffee.
Oh, buddy.
Partially because the sleeping times here have been weird, and
Yeah,
like
understood.
to fire up a pot of coffee is pretty loud. But I've got this like Japanese like hot water pot, which is so fucking cool. It lights up blue, this awesome color of blue when it's boiling. And I'll link it so you can buy it on Amazon. Maybe we'll be an affiliate.
Yeah.
But
you're an affiliate
it's
store?
awesome. It boils water really quickly but it's got this beautiful blue light. So if it's dark, it looks so fucking cool. That's honestly, that's why I use it. But so I've been fucking with instant coffee. Like I'm a Sumatra dude. But I also like I like your French roasts. Throw a little Hawaiian in there or something, for some
Here's my
hazelnut.
question for you with regards to your coffee.
Yeah.
And this is do you prefer the way coffee tastes or the way it makes you feel?
Both. You want okay. Listen.
Yeah,
this is a truth bomb.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we shouldn't put this on the podcast. Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it. There are some coffees that taste like pussy to me, and I love that. I mean that good.
I did not
good
see that
stuff.
coming.
Okay.
I did not see that coming.
No one saw that coming. No one's ever said that ever before in the history of podcasts.
Jesus.
I do love the taste of coffee, but like I'm not a frou-frou guy. Like I don't have to have a Starbucks. Although I do love Starbucks Sumatra. That's my favorite coffee.
Yeah.
That and like I do like. Well, I mean, I like all Sumatras, like the real Sumatras that come from the Sumatra region. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fruity guy. I like dark roast. But I love the taste of coffee. But I mean, I love the taste of truck stop coffee. Like the one that's been on the burner all day and is a little bit burnt.
A little bit burnt.
Yeah, I dig that. I drink it black. I don't put anything in it. And so, I love the taste of coffee in the morning as long as it's strong. Weak coffee, I will, I'll throw it out. I'll just throw it out. And if I taste it and it's weak, like it just tastes like dirty water. What about you? What kind of coffee do you like?
There's no strong coffee. There's only weak people.
Yes, that's true.
I like almost all coffees.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a very big fan. I'll try anything once, twice if I like it. That's not a metaphor. But for me, coffee is like I like it to taste good, and I like the way the right kind of coffee makes me feel. Right?
Okay, but tastes good. What do you mean by that? Do you like a dark roast, a medium roast, a light roast, a breakfast blend?
I like all roasts for different reasons. But the thing when I'm up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, such as yourself, the first thing I want my coffee to do is be hot and kickstart the motor. That's it. Yeah. Right? Beyond that, and then the second cup is a different experience. But the first cup is I need to poop and get this party started.
Sure, there is that.
So,
I don't feel it right away though, because I'm perpetually tired.
Yeah.
For good reason. Well, it's not like I'm just, up doing drugs all night, contrary to what this podcast would have you believe. I just have never been a good sleeper. Never.
Yeah.
You know, and it's part of my upbringing where, you know, my parents were like, you know, you're burning daylight. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be able to sleep when you're dead. And it's like, well, as it turns out, I
Did you ever
probably
read
need more sleep when I'm alive.
I remember like having similar experiences with my family when I was younger, and then presenting evidence about how much sleep teenagers needed, and then just proceeded not to leave my room ever. But did you ever read the article that was talked about how waking up in the middle of the night is pretty normal because sleeping through the night 8 hours straight is a pretty modern idea?
Yes. Yeah, like in the Middle Ages, like, where people would...
In the Middle Ages,
it was to like
sleep for 4 hours.
Watch your house to make sure it wasn't broken into. You would sleep 3 or 4 hours, and then you would go do something. Like you had to stoke the fire, put more water on, check the door, make sure the horses are okay. No one should have been asleep all night. Yeah,
but it made sense, like why you know, like naturally some people just like are I don't know what the statistics are on this but who wakes up in the middle of the night and who doesn't. But apparently it's perfectly normal for you to wake up in the middle of the night for a while and then go back to sleep again, because that's part of how you've evolved as a human.
That's the trick. Is go back to sleep again.
I have no problems falling asleep. I have problems staying asleep.
And maybe I don't have a problem falling asleep if I'm tired, and I normally am late. But I have trouble getting back to sleep once I've woken up. So if I wake up at 3 or 4, okay, here's something. So this ties it all together. If I smell coffee, like when I'm on an international flight, and, you know, you slam Ambien and a bunch of wine, and you're like, I'll wake up in Frankfurt. And, you know, but for whatever reason, because of the time change, coffee starts brewing. Yeah. If I smell coffee, it's over. It is over. I am up. I may not be aware, but I cannot get back to sleep. So if I get up at 3 or 4 and it's like, ooh, I really want coffee, and I make like it's over. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No more for me.
I think there's an interesting tie-in to the whole music career piece on this, which is for probably the last 20 years or so, I've been the headliner in the bands.
Yeah.
Which means I go on stage at 10:30 at night. And so there's a part of me, I've talked to my friend Corey about this a bunch of times, there's a piece of us that has conditioned our bodies to our heart, like your body, you know, just gets ready at 10:30 at night, like, here we go, you know, to like, we're gonna now throw down the thunder up on stage. And I think that is like trying to go to sleep for me at a reasonable hour. Yeah, it's going to work, but I'm ready to fucking party again by 2 a.m. because the show and then the after party was where it was at, you know, and my body's conditioned to do that. And it's taking some time to settle into a different routine these days.
I can't do it. I mean, I used to be able to wake up early like today and kind of work early in the morning, and then, you know, I'd still, like tonight, I will still not go to sleep till midnight, but I also have to like condition myself. I'm on some night projects right now too, so I have to do some things at night, and so I'm trying to condition myself for that. But I think like touring did that to me, where you could be dead ass tired from the road and from all the things you have to do during the day, and even laying in the hotel room or whatever, and then it's like 9 or 10 o'clock, your body's just bam, you got to go.
Yep.
And I will just get that second, third wind. Yeah. You know, and that just never goes away for me. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, and like, this is like the ultimate night owl conversation. Remember growing up, like, I mean, I was talking to kind of a youngin' about this. When I say youngin', I mean like under 25. And a younger person. And I was talking to somebody about this, and they didn't understand the term graveyard shift. They don't use that anymore.
What do they use? Night shift?
Just overnight or late. But most people don't like. Most people don't like. They don't do that. There's not a whole lot of graveyard shifts. There's not like people stocking shelves like there used to be. They just do it all day long, and the vendors stock them or whatever. But she was telling me, she was like, God, what a horrible thing. They actually called it that? Like, why'd they call it that? I was like, well, because you die early. And like, I remember my brother worked graveyards.
2ShotsMusicPod.
I worked graveyards a few times. But like, it's just not something that that this generation, the younger generation, uses, and thank goodness.
Yeah.
Like, good for them.
Yeah.
But you remember growing up, like, if you were a night owl, you were just seen as a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, something was wrong with you.
No matter how much you worked or whatever you accomplished.
Yeah.
Like, my buddy Troy, he's that kind of guy. He loves to sleep until... Yeah, we've talked about him on the show before. He's the guy that talks like this, you guys. He's very much a Cartman, you guys. He loves to sleep. He loves to stay up playing video games till 3 or 4 in the morning, and he sleeps until 1 or 2. And he has reasons for it. He doesn't like the morning light. He doesn't like the heat of the day. He likes it cool.
Yeah.
He always has a fan on. He's a night owl.
Yeah.
And people just... Now, in his case, he is lazy, but people always considered him lazy. But how do you feel about this? Like, I know, like, professional songwriting, I can write a song at 11 o'clock in the morning, or I can write a song at 2. But those zingers of creativity, sometimes the playing and stuff like that, man, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it really hits you, and you're like, that's good. That's a good line. You know, there is something about, and this isn't just musicians, it's writers, it's painters, it's creators, creative folks.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but there's something more romantic about creating something at night. Do you feel the same way?
I think it depends on what you're creating.
Okay.
I think that there's I think it depends on the creative project. I also think it depends on the people. We've talked about, excuse me, I'm a 7:30 to 2. I'm a lunch pail musician. After about 3 or 4, I'm kind of like, I'm ready to shut my brain down a little bit. I'll usually take a nap if I can, which is not often, but like I'm most productive I'm in my most creative energy usually about 4 a.m. when that first initial wake up kicks. And then at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 to 2 is about my real fertile creative time. But it also has to do with I also get creative bursts at like 7 o'clock at night, but they don't last as long. I'm also hyper aware of how I feel in any of those creative moments. If I hit a wall and I'm not liking anything that's happening and I'm not making any progress, I'm just doing things to do things, I will stop.
Right.
Because it's not worth it at that point. I don't want to just keep beating the shit out of something to beat the shit out of it. I'd rather have some movement on things. I want this to move and it feel like it's actually taking a step forward, not a step sideways. And so, I mean, like we talked about that in the studio too. If I see a session player that is going through the same thing, if I feel like they're not, it's a law of diminishing returns after we keep going. Yeah. We'll stop and do something else and send that guy out for lunch or for smoke a joint or whatever, just to give him some time away from this and refresh a little bit, because refreshing matters.
Yeah,
being fresh does matter. I can do that twice in a day. If I do a morning shift and I take a break and I kind of just cleanse the palate, and then I can do an evening thing as well. But I do need that space between them to not.
The space between.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Trevor says, what was the Jimmy Fallon? He'd just go, "Oppa!" Was the Jimmy or something like that.
It's not too much. Put reverb on it. It's perfect.
I really love that record, by the way.
Crash.
That Crash. Yes, such a good record. Crash and the one after that, Before These Crowded Streets.
Yeah.
That record is fucking amazing. After that, it kind of, there's some good stuff, but it's not the same.
Okay.
But should we look at our rundown, because I feel like we've hammered out of the bullshit today. I want to kind of touch on some things so we don't lose.
I don't think we have to. We talked about night owls and things like that.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we don't talk about shit. Well, here's the sync of the week. Bye, everybody.
We should talk about. God, should we promote Scott?
Yeah,
let's promote.
Let's give Scott some love. Yeah.
Know what would fix that?
Yeah. Mr. Scott Ewell, Dr. Scott Ewell.
Scott Ewell. Big sold out show last night at the Bluebird.
with Nita Strauss, who's Scott's is doing a bunch of stuff with our friends in Lola Black right now. Around here.
Yes.
Yeah, they played at the Bluebird, sold out last night.
I went to high school with that dude. Isn't that crazy?
With Dillinger, Chris Dillinger.
I went to junior high with him. That's how far we go back. There are only like 3 of us that are still in the music game from then, and from that same class. But like, I've known that dude longer than dirt. But
boy.
like, love him, love Lola, love everybody in that group. I'm happy that Scott's doing it. So Scott did. He runs a cool YouTube channel. We're gonna link it. We're gonna put up a little something on there because he does. I think we talked about it in a previous podcast. But he did an awesome thing about scammers on YouTube, and I think this goes to anyone in the music game that is trying to serve their fan base and connect to their fan base by doing a giveaway or by doing something that provides them access. Whenever you do that, you kind of open yourself up to the trolls and the scammers that come in and say and try to impersonate you as an artist. And big artists go through this too. But impersonate you as a creator or as an artist and say, hey, you won. Thank you so much for following me or my channel or my band. And, I want to send you X. And then what they will do is try to take that off of the channel, talk to you on Discord or WhatsApp or or Telegram, some of these places, and get you to pay something for shipping, maybe, let's say. In this case, it was shipping for, like, I believe it was a guitar or a guitar and amp. And they try to get you for, like, hey, look, I'm happy to give you this $1,000 guitar. Tough for me to cover the $100 in shipping or the $200 in shipping. Would you mind sending me the shipping so I can send you this $1,000 guitar? I've seen bands that go through this with like, hey, we want to send you a free record. We're going to send you a vinyl. But it's going to cost like $50 to send it. Would you mind just paying the shipping? And we'll kick in an extra T-shirt or something. So without giving the end of this away, but I'm going to give a little the end of it away. Don't give them money. Don't ever give someone you can't text money. Someone that's on your phone that you can text or talk to, don't give them money. Don't Venmo, don't Cash App, don't whatever. Don't send it Bitcoin. And so Scott Huell did a fantastic video because he acted like he was one of his fans, one of his subscribers, following up on this scam, and kind of went through the process, screenshotted all of the conversations with the scammer. And like I said, we are going to post this so you can see it because this video should go viral. Everyone that's ever been on YouTube
should watch this.
And a lot of people, look, there's a piece of this where you feel embarrassed, where you feel, ashamed that you fell for it. As he says in the video, look, we've all fallen for it in one way or another. I think he talked about how he, fell for a Craigslist scam to buy something in a parking lot and got screwed over. All of us, if you've ever bought music,
we've all been
music
there.
gear from someone off the street or or even when you're trying to buy something like a service in the music industry and someone's like, I'm going to get you this many things or get your radio distribution and then
get you 12,000 followers.
That's right. Get you 1,000 followers. All real.
All real. No click farms in India for you, sir.
So it's a great video. It's something to look out for. And in general, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Are you on the other side of this, that you should send money to people and, fuck, it's cool that people get scammed? Is that what you're going to stand for here?
Absolutely. And here's the sink of the week.
Stu is pro-scammer. Let's get to sinks.
I am not pro-scammer. I am, of course, it annoys me, but it is part of the marketplace. If you were to own a grocery store or you were to own a bodega, if you will, you have cameras up in there because some fuck's going to steal some shit from your store, right? That's just part of the cost of doing business at this point. And so it's part of the internet we have. And I saw one the other day that I thought was really, really interesting, and it had to do with official correspondences from banks, and it had to do with the different type of A's or different type of letters you can have. So you can have the A that kind of looks like a cursive 2 and an A that looks like a Roman versus a Greek or something like that. I don't remember what the font specificities are, but there's certain ones that computers do all the time, and there's ones that scammers do. So it'll say an email comes from citibank.com, and the A will be the wrong kind of A, and it's driving you to a site where they're going to steal all your shit. They're pretty fucking savvy about this shit now.
Yeah.
Like how to get past all your stuff. I've dealt with it on my business account. I've had fraud hit my business account. I had somebody steal thousands of dollars, empty my fucking bank account before.
Yeah. And that's without you falling for something.
And that was basically me getting gas at a gas station. Somebody had one of those scanners in the thing and stole and cloned my debit card, emptied my fucking bank. I've had people open credit cards in my name. I've sent money to people for gear that didn't appear. I just dealt with it with a friend of mine who bought a guitar that was a guitar that we both have had and fell in love with and wanted another one. And he found one and he bought it and he sent them the money, and then the seller went MIA. And that was through a seller site like Reverb.
Yeah, a reputable
that happened.
reseller.
A reputable site. It's out there. It's part of what it is. But there's only so much you can do to keep an eye on it. So the thing I always say is just try to keep it as small as you can. Keep your mistakes as small as you can. Yeah. Be aware that this is happening and don't go into it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, if you win something, you won something, and you shouldn't owe anything. That's rule number one. I will give you that whole letter thing. A business that I ran got screwed over for $30,000 based on an email address where an I, a capital I, looks a hell of a lot like an L. And that was all the same, and so it looked like a real email. It looked like it was from the real source, and it was a spoofed email. I learned a hell of a lot about a certain kind of insurance that you have to get for that. But, so we'll give you a few concrete ways to combat this, or at least to be on the lookout. One, if you win something, you won something, you shouldn't know anything. If they ask you for something, that's okay. Then you didn't win it. Walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away. Don't feel guilty. Just don't do it. Number two, if at all possible, and by the way, this is not meant for financial advice, but if at all possible, use a credit card. Most credit cards have insurance on them, and most credit card companies, much like Amazon, sort of build in scamming into it to where the payment process. So if you're using like PayPal or Cash or whatever, those are all like online tech things run by algorithms. There aren't real people answering the phone about you. It's really hard to get your money back. PayPal sometimes is easier. But if you used a credit card, you are a customer of them and you have credit, it's their money that got stolen, not yours, because you haven't paid off the credit card yet. And so they are much more likely to either write it off as a loss or go down the road and try to recover that money. They have lawyers and huge teams to do that. So if at all possible, use a credit card. And what do I mean by that? I mean, don't use a debit card or something else connected to your bank account directly because there's no go-between to fight for that. So using a credit card is another thing. The other thing is that if you can't verify someone's existence in person, this is why I say this all the time. If you can't directly text them from phone to phone, FaceTime, text, call somebody. To make sure they speak the language that they, like, listen, if half of the time you can tell by the text that they're using and the little messages they send, they don't have full grasp of the English language. That doesn't mean that someone from a foreign country is always going to be scamming you, but it is a red flag. If that person is supposedly living in Chicago and they're like, yes, I would be like very much to see you doing this by now. They're like, okay, fuck that guy, So verify with like texting or calling or FaceTiming. If they don't have time to do that, then you're out. It's okay. You're out. Look for the next opportunity. Do you have anything to add?
I had a. This even happened to me when I was looking for a house to live in, to rent a house. I found a house on Realtor.com, and I had a phone number to call. I filled out the sheet, got a text saying, "Hey, this is what you do," and I said, "Okay." And I then I said, "When you arrive, call me. I'll come let you in." And the phone number comes from Texas, and the guy then has me outside the house download an app.
No.
Wants me to download an app, and the app was actually a property management app in which I basically say, I want to look at this house. Here's all my information. Look in, and then they want you to send them the deposit, the 1 month, the $3,500 or whatever. It's $4,000. It's going to be in deposit, and they're actually not renting the house.
Just to make sure you're serious.
Yes, just to make you send me the deposit and we'll get you the lease done, and let's and I was at the house and there's a for sale sign on there, and I said, in this neighborhood you're going to rent this house for less than the market value.
Right, then the mortgage would be.
Then the mortgage would be. And I asked, and he just kept saying, just kept feeding me, just download the app and go in and check it out, and then send me a deposit. And I was like, no. So I actually ended up calling the property management company and saying, hey, somebody's spoofing your listing as it's incredibly sophisticated. Yeah. Some of these scams. And I think that, with just a little bit of common sense, you'll be able to navigate most of them. But even somebody as savvy as Scott is, except for his crypto wallet, if somebody like him can actually has this happen too, it's just out there, and it's an understanding that this is part of having the society that we have, and it's an unfortunate butthole of a piece, but it is there,
and it's getting worse.
Don't go into,
with AI.
It's getting worse. Don't go into.
You're going to have things that happen. I was part of a meeting 2 weeks ago. I don't think this is embargoed. No, it won't be by the time this comes out. But I don't think so. No, it wasn't. It's not embargoed. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this isn't going to come out tomorrow. So we got to see some horrible things that are people using AI. So they'll take your phone call. They'll record you speaking to them, and or your voicemail. Leave me a voicemail. Just simple thing, right? You're just leaving a voicemail.
Yeah.
Leave me a voicemail and leave me this information. And it may not even be like really, really personal information. Just leave me some information about how tall you are, where you heard about us. Just little things, okay? And not your credit card number, none of that, not your social, nothing. And then they take that, throw it through an AI embedded file. Then it clones your voice. They can type in what the text will be to fake your voice saying something. Yeah. And basically can say, Mom, this is your son, and I'm in jail. I need you to wire $500 here really quick. Or I was just on vacation, and I need you to Western Union money to this address, or I'm going to go to jail. Little things like that. And then they hit like a grandma with it. And saying oh my God, this is your grandson. I only have a few minutes here. I'm on a payphone. This is a collect call, but I was able to get it through. I need you to send this to whatever, to my account. Here's my account information. Please do this within the next 2 hours. Little things like that. But the person on the other end will think it's your voice. They can they can basically clone your website, your web traffic, your socials, and use that as social proof against it, and then scam someone for you making an emergency call. That's going to happen some more. Plus, they can actually take your personal photos from say Facebook or Instagram, and then use Midjourney to put you in somewhere else, showing that you're in Florida at a hotel. Can you please wire this money to this hotel? And it is brutal. brutal.
Yeah.
That it's going to be like, I need some help. And you know that older ladies are going to fall for this. You know that older guys are going to, like, people are going to fall for it. Because they care.
But this is not new. This is not new. This is not a new. It's just the methodology is changing, but this is a pretty. We've been fucking robbing and stealing and fucking each other over for thousands of years at this point in time. Yeah. For the most part, people are fine. You're gonna deal with some fucking dirtbag shit, and you just do your best to mitigate that. That doesn't mean that this is all you're going to deal with. These are just cautionary tales, and just to kind of keep y'all aware of what's going on.
And it's not always thousands of dollars. Sometimes they're just running these automated scams for $50 or $25 to where you're like, oh well, if they were really scamming me, they wouldn't get just $25. What you don't understand is by doing that $25 transfer, you just opened up the floodgates for the rest of it. That's exactly how churches get you. Just send me $20 or this television channel is going to go off the air. By the way, thank you for your wire information. We're going to do $100 every month from now on, or you're going to hell.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be they would do the whole thing where it's like somebody has cloned your internet history and you're in deep shit. They brick your. Yeah. My uncle had that happen in the UK, and he's like a very religious, very sweet man, and they like bricked his fucking PC and said they weren't going to unlock it unless you sent him some Bitcoin.
Well, and you're starting to see this now, where you can take some pictures and basically fake a porn, and then you send the porn to like a nice mom in the suburbs and say, we have the video of you having sex with your neighbor, and we were going to release this unless you give us $1,000. And that would ruin her career, her church life, her friends, her family. Yeah. But it wasn't her. And then like that AI voice cloning thing, man. Because we did it. I did it. And it sounded exactly like me. Exactly like me.
Really?
And so it, I mean, there's no one who would pay for me to get out of jail, so it doesn't really matter.
I'd pay for you to get out of jail.
Wouldn't. And nor should you.
Shut up.
Nor should you.
Yes,
I'll get out on my...
Are you having a good time in there?
I'll get out on my own recognizance. Yeah, it's good storytelling. Yeah. I'm going to write a good song.
I was telling stories about my buddy,
no good
about
songs
Caddy.
About getting out of jail.
Yeah. You remember our friend Michael Cadwell, old Caddy? I was telling stories about how Rincon. He used to tell this story all the time, and it wasn't true. But he would introduce people to me, be like, "Hey, it's my buddy Stu. He and I were in jail for each other. We blow each other for cigarettes." And that would be how he would introduce me to people. And I think for a while there was probably about a good handful of humans in Denver that actually thought that was true. Now it was, but we weren't going to tell everybody. I'm just kidding. But that's how he'd introduce me to people. I was like, this guy and me. Oh, the things we did to keep safe. Whew.
Yeah. So what's gotten worse is social proof, right? Like it's all a confidence game to make you feel more confident. In whatever the scam is, and the social proofing has gotten better. But listen, at this point, if they want to release, a porn video about you, let them do it. Let them do it. Because guess what? They're going to have to pay for ads. Otherwise, it's going to die on the vine because they don't know how to work algorithms. Just like our TikToks. Oh my God, are we locked in at 250 per TikTok because we're a podcast?
Oh,
I mean, some of these videos are so damn good, and every one of them, they run up the For You page, and it's like 230, 240, 250, 260, and I mean, 10% engagement. I got 25 likes on everything, 200 and some odd views.
Nice.
It will not go past that because they're like, first of all, you're doing it faceless. Second of all, you want people to go off of TikTok to listen to your podcast, and that's why.
Oh yeah, that shit.
So it's not just pure entertainment to stay on TikTok. Like, you bastards.
Do we need to do some more pure entertainment pieces? I mean, I do have the cheerleading costume right over there.
Yeah, and I've got these chains, and yeah, we can do it. I don't know if that's allowed anymore. Is that allowed? It might be.
No, it's not allowed anymore.
But we appreciate you all being on TikTok with us, though. We are strong but mighty over there.
Fingerprints was my favorite one when we talked about I've watched a few of them and I enjoy them.
They're good videos.
Yeah, they're good videos.
You know, Animaniacs. It's good stuff.
So good.
All right, let's get into the Sink of the Week. Would you like to begin?
Yeah, I would really like to begin.
Anna begins again?
Because, speaking of Scott Ewell, Scott, as I've said, has bugged me for a good couple of years to watch this show on MGM.
Plus.
The first season was all on Prime, and I fucking hammered through it hard. It's really, really great. And they got a bunch of interesting sinks in this, but there's
what is From about for the people?
Basically, it's about a town, no-name town, where a bunch of people are trapped, and at night, murderous creatures come out of the forest.
Ooh, so Aurora.
Yes, pretty much. It's like Lost meets In the Mouth of Madness. If you ever saw that John Carpenter movie from the 90s.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was scary.
It's kind of like that a little bit, but it's really, really fantastic. And one of there's a diner in the show that has like those little tabletop jukeboxes that you could scroll through.
Yeah.
And there's always a song playing on one of them to kind of give you the vibe of the episode. So there's a variety of great syncs in this thing, and a lot of the placements are older songs. But the one I want to talk about is actually the opening credit song. Ooh. It is a version of Que Sera Sera.
Okay.
Who was that? Not Rosemary Clooney. Who did the original?
Doris Day, I believe.
Doris Day. Thank you very much. This cover is by
you guys,
Pixies.
I shouldn't know that. I am not that old. There's no fucking way I should know that.
Well, it's okay.
But I'm an old soul.
The version on the credits of From is by the Pixies.
Ooh.
So we got old Frank Black, and it's all minor.
Ooh.
It is dark as fuck, and paired with the darkness of the credits, it is it really again, talking about like those songs that like really set the mood for the show. I will watch the credits for this show because that song, that choice is so good. It is such a perfect pairing. It really puts me in the mood to enjoy the show. And I think that's my Sync of the Week. That might it's just a great cover version of it. It's creepy as fuck, and I love Pixies. So
can I add a little bit to that? So
of course.
The songwriters for Que Sera Sera, Jay Livingston and Ray Evans.
Yes.
By the way, JOO. It was written and published in like 1955, and that song and the Doris Day popularization of it was from a Hitchcock film called "The Man Who Knew Too Much." So there's this.
Oh shit!
So
that's
there's
right.
this horror, like touchstone, a little bit a touch point in there from that.
That's interesting. I forgot
like
it was in there.
Kidnapping, something like that. But yeah, so that's why there's a little hat tip there to that. But so yeah, that's where that comes
fucking
from.
Cool.
And I had to check to see if I was right about Doris Day, and I was. And God, I feel like
I'm not surprised.
But my mom used to always say that, like, "How do you know about Perry Como?" And I'm like, "I don't know. How do you know about like all these people?" And so here I am again, showing my age on my sync. Okay. I'm flying through Mrs. Maisel and loving every minute of it because
it's fucking. How far in are you?
This has been chambered for me. I knew you watched it. I had to start getting into it. I'm in season 3. Yeah, it's great.
Is it the Shy Baldwin season?
Yes, Shy Baldwin. And I am just, I love every minute of it. I know that if you haven't seen it, or if you've seen it, then you'll know this, but there is a whole group of people writing original songs of the time. The cues run the show. It is a musical show. It is written like a stage musical. It is super duper fantastic. Anyway, so season 3, there is a placement of one of my favorite songs of all time from one of my favorite artists. And that is Pennies from Heaven, Louis Prima.
Yes.
So I love Louis Prima.
Fantastic.
Always have loved Louis Prima. I think I've said it on this podcast a few times, but my grandpa was in big bands. I was turned on to big band music when I was very young, and so that's kind of another reason why I'm an old soul. But that song kills me. I love Louis Prima's version of it. Frank Sinatra did a good version of it. Few people have. But okay, so if you don't know the song, one of the lines is, every time it rains pennies from heaven. And then there's a background part that comes in that is slurringly drunk and a little off rhythm. It goes, shooby dooby. And it is so fucking good. I love it. But it got me thinking about these songs of the time. It makes sense. It's a great line. Every time it rains pennies from heaven. Look at that. Free money from heaven. But think about it. What the fuck? Why is it raining pennies? Ouch. I have welts on my head. It almost put my eye out. My head is bleeding. Like, what a horrible idea. Why, God? Oh, why would you not rain paper money? That makes so much more sense. It doesn't hurt. Pennies.
Did you ever get told that urban legend about, like, if you throw a penny off the Empire State Building, it would kill a man on the ground below?
Yes. I don't know if that's a legend. I think that might be true.
But I
think a penny falls at the same rate as a bowling ball. There's a physics law about it, but not as a feather. All right, physics people, jump in. Tell us what the actual thing is.
Yeah, add us. Tell us why we're wrong.
Because I'm getting into LIGO and gravitational waves. Thank you very much, Einstein. We'll talk about that later. 68 years after Einstein's death, he was proven right again this week about gravitational waves. Anyway, so Mrs. Maisel, Pennies from Heaven, Louis Prima, Shooby Dooby. What a great thing. We need more Shooby Doobies in music. The Soup.
Well, I think it's now going to happen.
Robin Erdang on that. Just super fantastic. I know you've probably heard this from all of your friends. If you haven't seen Mrs. Maisel and you like classic theater and you like, snappy dialogue, just amazing clothes. It's like an oasis in your world. You go and you live in another world for a little bit that probably never actually existed then either.
Yeah, it's stunning.
But you want it to. And it's fantastic. So that is my sync of the week.
Hell yeah, that is a fucking fantastic choice.
Yeah, and it's a great song. And I've been just walking around the house going, Shooby Dooby. By the way, just when you listen to it, just understand how off-kilter Shooby Dooby is. Every single time. It's meant to seem like drunk, like the horn players are yelling it. And it's so great. It is so great. Okay. So that's Sync of the Week.
I love it. Fantastic.
All right, so let's wrap this sucker up. Remember to rate and subscribe us on Apple Podcasts or iPods if you have iPods still.
If you have an iPod, you got the old click wheel going on.
I got my U2 iPod over there somewhere. Thanks for that. Give us 5 stars. Leave us a hilarious comment. We're kicking a little bit of ass on YouTube. Thank you so much. You can always listen to this podcast for free on YouTube. And
I'm still waiting for somebody to correct our Spanish from the episode from a few weeks ago.
Mal. See?
Yeah, nobody's corrected our Spanish yet. So I'm just gonna assume we were correct.
Yeah. We speak perfect español. Thank you so much for that. And make sure to share this with your friends. 2ShotsMusicPod.com. We'll show you everywhere, except we have a link on there for Stitcher. Rest in peace, Stitcher. Stitcher is gone now as podcasting
R.I.P.
folded down into SiriusXM. And so just so you know, but most of our people are on Apple, and we love you so much. If you like it on Spotify, thank you so much for listening over there. And until next time, we hope that you write great songs.
Yeah. Keep writing.
Keep writing. Keep loving. Keep singing. Keep doving.
Keep hugging.
God, what a fucking horrible thing. Oh, my God.
This is why, we're professional songwriters.
It's 2 o'clock. I don't write good at 2 o'clock.
I don't know. I get to. This is my napping hour. Give me 2 hours, and I got another one in me.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Shooby doopy. All right.